What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. It's Errol with Passion to Profit, and in this video, we're going to talk about low floats. And if you don't know what low floats are, don't worry, you will know by the end of this video, but the example we're going to start off with is NTN. And if you're in the Discord chat, we had talked about NTN when it had popped up, I believe, last Thursday, and we talked about a lot of the things that we liked about the stock. So if you guys don't know, this is what the Discord chat is going to look like. We talk in here during the day. We have a lot of resources for you to use. If you would like to join, we have watch lists in here. You can introduce yourself, meet other people, just a bunch of tabs that will help you get started, get going, meet new people, and just start your journey of trading overall. It's a lot easier when you're around other people, so you can learn from multiple people's mistakes and successes at the same time, so you can really sharpen up that learning curve. And if you would like that, click the first link in the description and we'll get that sent over to you. We had talked about this in the Discord chat. So NTN, it's a low float stock, and before I get ahead of myself, let me show you where you can come to check out this float. There's multiple places where you can come and check out the float of the stock. If you know other places, go ahead and keep doing that as well. But you can also come to Yahoo Finance. There's a market cap, super low cap. Here's the float of the stock, 2.1 million shares float. So that's a very low float. Anything under 10 million is technically considered pretty low. But honestly, anything under 20 million float is pretty low, especially with the increase of volume we've gotten in the past 6 months into the market. So that's a low float stock. 2 million is very low, especially when you compare it to the volume that it traded for the overall day. And let's just go on our year chart. Let's double check again to see how much volume this stock traded this specific day. It traded 208 million. So the float had rotated over 100 times, 104 times to be exact. That's a super high float rotation. The higher the float rotation, if it's a lot of buying volume, the more bullish it's going to be. And the more buying volume you have on something with a low float, the higher demand you're going to get. Just basic supply and demand. Low floats increase in price and can decrease in price just as quick. But when you get a lot of buying volume on a low float, they tend to spike a lot easier. Now, the first thing we had noticed in the chat that we were talking about is we really liked the gap up percent. And if we measure the gap up percent from last night to where it closed at to where it's opening up at this morning was roughly 55%. And from its close the previous night to its pre-market high, it's over 200%. So it's a very bullish stock. It also even had news. It had a catalyst for the reason for why this was even moving or got people's attention in the first place. And you can check this over here in the live news tabs down here. And you just want to make sure it's the correct date that you're looking at. But you can always check to see if there was a catalyst for why this stock was even moving in the first place. Again, that was the first thing we liked. We liked the gap up percentage. Second, we saw it push up over 200% in the pre-market. We know it's a low float, and the fact that it's fading off of that pre-market high, we know if it gets any type of volume, it could probably even retest that pre-market high once it opens, because again, it's only gapping up about 55%. It's not gapping up too much to where short sellers are just going to pounce on it once the market opens, and it's not too low of a percent to where it's not getting enough people's attention. So the volume is there, the low float is there, the gap up percent is there, and just the overall movement, the volatility is there. After we identify this is a potential long play in the Discord chat, another thing you want to do is then put in your lines, put in those key areas where you think the stock is going to be making decisions. So I like to put my lines in at support levels and resistance levels. And I know this is a resistance. I see it getting rejected right here and even getting rejected right here on the downside. And then we can see we have a resistance level at the pre-market high all the way at 588. And if you see right here, this is a low float stock. We had listed off all the criteria, why we like NTN, why it might be a good play for the day. And I even said at 7:41, 10 minutes or 11 minutes into market open right here, I had said I wouldn't doubt if this can test the pre-market high. And again, my reasoning for a lot of that was, again, the things I had just listed. Now, we wake up, we see it has a nice gap percentage, low float, nice volume traded already. It's already making moves in the pre-market, so we know it has potential for the day. Next, we want to wait for market open. And now once the market opens, we can see it test the VWAP right away and easily break through it. Another thing I want to throw out there is look how we put in our pre-market support lines. This had broken back beneath VWAP, yes, but one thing I want to throw out there is a lot of short sellers like to jump on things that break VWAP. So a lot of the impatient or more novice short sellers may have gotten trapped in this dip right beneath VWAP, but they should have known this is a low float, high volume is coming in, stuff like that, not even gapping up enough. But a lot of novice short sellers are going to get trapped in things like that, and that's exactly what happened. And again, it's not a coincidence that it started consolidating right at this area. That's the same level that our pre-market support was sitting at. So again, these levels aren't random. At those levels, decisions are about to be made. Now, when a short seller gets out of their position, they have to buy back the shares that they're short selling, so it causes a buying pressure. And once they do that, it'll cause a little bit of a buying pressure here. And especially if longs are looking at this, they're going to hop on top of the move as well. So just creating a massive buying pressure along with the short sellers getting out, adding to that buying pressure. After we get that bullish move straight back above VWAP, we see it get rejected at our next key level. And where did we get that key level? Again, if I go back into the pre-market, you can see this was a level it got rejected at a couple times. So we know next time it reaches that level again, it doesn't have to, but it can. It doesn't have to, but it can act as a support or a resistance once it reaches those levels again. And that's exactly what it does. Again, we know it's a low float. We know the volume is gradually increasing as the day goes on. Also, it's making higher highs and higher lows. The one time it's not making higher highs and higher lows, it's actually making lower highs and lower lows right here. There's a huge decrease in volume. So we know this little downtrend move isn't even a strong move down anyways because of our volume. And our volume, again, is the buying and selling of shares. So if there's not a lot of action being taken right here, don't let your eyes deceive you. Make sure you're paying attention to other factors like the volume, because after this downtrend of this little move, it reclaimed beautifully with a double bottom off of the VWAP, showing a very bullish sign, and then it turning around, making higher highs and even breaking the day high and making day high after day high after day high after that. But what I really want to point out on this is it is a low float stock. And even on a low float stock, if you see something with this much volume, you see that volume being rotated over and over and over throughout the day. If you're a short seller, you don't want to short something like this. Even if you see a sharp sell-off midday, just don't touch it. If it's a low float, just set a rule for yourself. Don't touch these. So if you're a long, you can take advantage of moves like this. If it gets too much volume and it's just way too crowded for the little supply that it has, which is the float, that's in the long's favor all day. Sometimes it can get too choppy to where it's a little hard to trade if you're going long, but this one worked out beautifully for the longs. The short sellers were just getting squeezed while it made higher highs and higher lows for the day. And if you're longing this and you were in the chat, you probably caught some of this. And again, the people in the chat that did catch this, congratulations. That's going to be pretty much it when it comes down to breaking down stocks from a technical analysis standpoint. Yeah, we consider a little bit of the fundamentals, as you can see what I did. And also we checked out what the catalyst was. Why is this stock even moving? Was there news released? And yes, on this day, there was news released. So that acted as a big catalyst. After this stock peaks out, you can see it's finally on its backside. In my opinion, I still wouldn't even short this because this could have turned around at this support and made higher highs for the day. You don't know. Things are easy to say after the fact. Another thing to really pay attention to is when you're trading, make sure, are you trading when the stock is trending above the VWAP or below the VWAP? Like, yes, of course, you can still lose money when it's trending above the VWAP, but it's going to make it a lot easier for you if you're placing trades when it's proven strength, because when it's trading above VWAP, that means it's stronger than it is weak. And if it's trading below VWAP, it's weaker than it is strong. Hence the downtrend or the uptrend. And yeah, you can make money when it's on a downtrend, but it's going to be a lot more difficult for you, especially to recover on a position if you do mess up your entries and don't stick to your plan. So again, watch out for that VWAP. Pay attention to where it's trading above or below. Pay attention to where you're getting in. Pay attention to where you're making your mistakes. Where are you getting sucked into trades? Where should you have waited just a little longer? Make sure you're taking note of that. These low float stocks offer great opportunity for longing, especially on the first green day. First green day, low float, high volume with the catalyst. I mean, that's red flags all over the place if you're short selling the stock. And again, I short sell a lot of the stocks and I am short biased. So a lot of the things that I'm looking out for going long are usually things that really will hurt short sellers if they are to short it. Also had GRNQ today. I don't believe it's as low as a float as NTN was, but we could see this is making higher highs throughout the day. And again, everything's relative. If something has a 10 million float and it's trading 100 million volume, that's a 10 float rotation. That's massive. If something has a 20 million float and it's trading a million volume, that's a massive float rotation. Yeah, the float isn't as low on it, but again, you have to remember everything's relative. If it gets enough volume and it makes a move, it makes a move. Here's GRNQ for today. If you caught a piece of this, congratulations. The day's not over, obviously. But again, I just want to keep implementing the same rules into everyone's head. Make sure you watch out for swinging a lot of these trades. Don't turn a day trade into a swing trade. If you plan for something to be a day trade, stick to your plan. Just because you mess up on your position or you're down some money, do not hold it overnight for a swing trade if you don't have reason to do so. That's a little bit more about the low float stocks. They're really easy to move. They can move in your favor or against your favor. So just know, as quick as they spike, they can come back down at the same speed. So watch out for that. Protect yourself. Always have risk management whenever you're going into any trade. Doesn't matter the setup. Doesn't matter what type of stock you're trading. Just be cognizant of that. If you want this Discord chat with over 14,000 other members, it's free. Click that first link in the description. And I know TOS was down a lot this week, I think twice, back-to-back days. If you want access to other charts that will help tremendously, check out TradingView. That'll be the second link in the description. Check them out. Their premium version with their features is amazing, but I'll tell you, you don't need the premium version. The free version does everything you will need it to. Definitely check that out. And the last thing I want to leave you guys with is, you knew I've been talking about the Passion to Profit podcast. We have the first one up from last week with Sean Kelly. He's a business owner. This week I have my friend Thaddeus. He's an e-com guy. All these people that I'm going to be interviewing are successful in their own niche or whatever they're doing, because the whole point of the Passion to Profit podcast is to really just inspire and encourage a lot of you guys that are in different industries but want to be successful and just want to hear from other people from different industries that have gone through other experiences, maybe similar experiences as you, and just really pick their brains and just see a lot of the things that they went through, things that helped them along their journey. So again, I have another one launching this week. We'll have them maybe weekly. I'm going to try and get them out one a week, maybe a technical analysis breakdown and then a podcast a week, but we'll see. We'll get that out there. Make sure you're looking out for that. Again, if you enjoyed this video or got any value out of it, make sure you hit that like button. It helps me tremendously with the YouTube algorithm, if you guys know how that works, and it really helps with the growth of this channel. So I really appreciate it. I appreciate your guys' time. Comment down below if you have any extra questions, and I'm curious to see what you guys think with the overall market and where we're headed, because we're heading back to that 339 area. So that's going to be interesting to look out for. Drop a comment down below. I'll catch you guys in the next video.